Achrei Mot Kedoshim is a parsha that speaks to responsibilities we have and to actions. And originally I wrote a sermon that kind of gave an overview of my last 2 weeks, all of the things that went on. It happens to be 2 weeks in the life of this rabbi, but it could have been 2 weeks in the life of any rabbi. And then Thursday, I had a wonderful experience with Chazan Steve, and I decided that I would put that sermon aside, maybe you'll hear it next year, and I'd talk about a completely different thing. So yesterday, Chazan Steve and I had the wonderful opportunity to participate in a prayer walk. And if you don't know what a prayer walk is, it's exactly like it says. You walk a little, you pray a little, you walk a little, you pray a little. This prayer walk was organized, and it's a biannual thing, twice a year. It was organized originally by a group of black pastors who felt that their communities needed to have better relations with the divisions, the police divisions, in their community. And now it has grown to be a multi-faith program that is every division on the same day in Toronto and many divisions outside of Toronto within Ontario. And so we started at Division 13 at the end of the Allen. We started together upstairs inside the police department, talking, just getting to know each other a little bit. A prayer was offered, we went outside, we took a picture, because of course we did. And then we walked down Eglinton towards Dufferin. We stopped at various places, sometimes a parking lot, sometimes a house of worship, sometimes a random corner. And at each spot, the pastor, whose last name I have here somewhere, but I'm not paying attention to my pages at all. So Pastor Orlando Patterson, who led this group this week, at each spot he would stop and he would ask for volunteers. Would someone like to talk about what they're feeling in this moment? Would someone like to offer a prayer of thanks for being here together? And so someone did that, and people would step forward. And I can tell you that the rabbis and our chazan among us, we are not people of spontaneous prayer. Jews have a liturgy. I was speaking with Rabbi Splansky as we were walking, and I said, I remember when I did my hospital chaplaincy, my rabbi's manual with the prayers in it, they were like my shield. I knew what I had to say because I had a book. And that was a great feeling. We are not people that normally throw out an amen in the middle of a prayer. But that was going on that day. And Rabbi Splansky shared with me, her father was also a rabbi, a story that he would tell about giving a prayer on Thanksgiving in the United States, when many communities come together and have an interfaith service. And he was asked to lead the final blessing, the final benediction, and as he was speaking in a church, giving this final thing, someone yells out, "Speak to the Spirit, Rabbi." And he thought, well, that's different. I don't get to hear that in my congregation. We actually do it a little bit. We do it during the Kaddish. We suddenly say, Baruch Hu, we say Amen in the middle of the prayer. It's great. But it's not our nature to pray spontaneously. It's not our nature to yell out from our kahal in response. But we had this wonderful moment. And as we finished up, we stopped at the church on the corner of Dufferin and Eglinton, and we went up in front of the church and stood there. And at this point, Chazan Zeidenberg, Chazan Steve, and I were blessed to be able to offer a few words and to sing a little bit with everyone. And when we completed this, one of the young men who was there came over and spoke with us, and he wanted to talk about how he was in Israel, how he'd visited Israel. And one of the things he learned while he was there was the song Shalom Aleichem. And we figured out it was actually Havenu Shalom Aleichem. And suddenly, we were singing, and he was singing, and then he went like this, and others who had been on this trip all started singing, and Rabbi Splansky took the opportunity and grabbed a few hands, and suddenly we had, in front of this church, a spontaneous hora singing, Havenu Shalom Aleichem. And I wonder what the people walking on the street thought, but the feeling of here you have Jews and Christians, that was our particular group. In other divisions, there are also others of other faith groups, Jews and Christians and police officers dancing in front of a church. You can imagine it's a slightly odd picture. By this point, we started with MPP Stephanie Smythe, who joined us as well. And it's such a mechaya, such a wonderful thing to be able, for just a little moment in our world, to be with our brethren, our Canadian brethren from other faith groups, to be with our police officers, to walk along Eglinton and have a chance to speak with different police officers, with different pastors, with our superintendent, who is a wonderful person, and who very much wants to do the right thing. We live in a country where we have a right to speak up, where we have a right to complain. And we do. We frequently complain when we're not happy about something. And it's not all perfect. We're not always happy with the response of the police to a lot of the things that go on in our city right now. But we live in a very special time, because there has not always been a time where we as a Jewish community can say, our elected officials show up for us. Last week I attended the flag raising, both at City Hall and at Queen's Park. And our MPP was there as well. To be able to speak with them, our MP was also there. To be able to speak with them, to know that they're going to show up for us, that they support us. Yes, maybe not every single elected official in Canada today supports the Jewish community, but as a whole, the government supports us, supports our safety. The police support us, they support our safety. We know that we have laws that we can speak out against the government. Not only can we, but it is our responsibility as citizens of this country, when we don't like something, to speak out against this. But I say that with those responsibilities, it's also our responsibility when we have the opportunity to say thank you for the work they do. When we see the things that have been done well, that we say thank you, we appreciate that. Whether it's sending an email, dropping off something, a baked good, and the superintendent said to me, you would not believe how many coffees, baked goods, chalot. Thursday night at 11 o'clock, people seem to drop off chalot at the division, at Division 13, because I guess that's when they're done baking. And it's appreciated. They really, really appreciate that. And so I hope that next year we'll have a little more advance notice for this faith walk. We'll have a more advance notice for the flag raising at Queen's Park. And I hope that next year many of you will come and join us as we participate in this. And our Jewish presence will simply increase, and our appreciation of all of those things, all of the blessings we have, publicly will increase. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.